Call regular council meeting to order, City of St. John, September 17th, 2024, from 7 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. Meeting in order. Any additions to the agenda?
Yeah, I've got a couple. Economic development. Do I have to give a reason?
Do you want it under new business or?
Sure, that'd be great, under new business.
You want it at the beginning of new business or at the end?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
So you just want to talk about, like, what's the topic, so I can.
The letter he sent out last week that we didn't go over.
Okay.
We got you say you had another one?
Correct.
Okay.
You wanna hear it or wait till the first one, sees if it goes through?
Want to put them on each one at a different vote or what?
However you wanna do it.
You'll just go ahead and add and
Add
we'll
the other one.
vote
Oh,
on
and
each
then the
one.
other one would just be code enforcement officer under new business.
I'd entertain a motion.
So, if we had a 5-minute legal executive session too at the end for attorney-client.
Any other additions to the agenda?
10-minute executive session for non-elected personnel.
How long?
10.
Any other additions besides the 4? I hear a motion.
Make a motion to have those.
Motion
Yeah.
to do all 4? Got a
Second.
motion on the table for all 4 executive sessions?
Second.
And we got a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Citizen comments. No citizens' comments. Consent agenda. Approve the minutes of regular council meeting September 3rd, 2024.
Make a motion to approve regular council meeting minutes September 3rd, 2024.
Got a motion on the table and a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. I'd entertain a motion for appropriation ordinance 09-17-24 AP for the amount of $171,759.65.
Make a motion to approve appropriation ordinance 091724 AP for the amount of $171,759.65.
Second.
Got a motion on the table and a second. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Next in line, I'd entertain a motion for petty cash for $193.97.
Make a motion to approve petty cash for $193.97.
Second.
Motion made by Aaron Raines. For a second?
Second.
And a second by Mark Bryant. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Moving on down, electric department. Curtis, got anything?
My stuff's under new business.
Okay. Does council have any questions for Curtis?
No.
No questions for Curtis? Anybody else?
Poles look nice. When do you have flags coming in?
They just came in this evening.
Nice.
Any other questions for Curtis from council?
Just out of curiosity, Y6
We're gonna do American flag, state flag, and St. John Tigers.
on each side?
Whether they're coming or going, we see it.
Gotcha, alright. Works for me.
So is that something that was approved on before it came on council to do that, or is it just something that just came up?
No, it's just something that I thought of to use the rest of the money for the grant. It didn't need to be approved, and it was just like, it didn't even cost us $500.
It sort of changes the landscape of the city, which I was just curious. People were calling me and I said I have no idea where they're going.
Sure, yeah. I can do better at telling you guys what we're doing.
We'll definitely make it look, make the entrance look a lot nicer, that's for sure.
We put Jubilee stuff up on it too, those times. Just kinda dressing it up out there. Most of the stuff is donated too, so.
Any more questions for Curtis? He'll pick up another issue, new business. Water Department, Jason,
I don't have anything.
you don't have anything? Council got any questions for Jason on the streets or the Water Department?
Nope.
Nobody got any questions? Okay. Police Chief Torrey, you got anything? Council got any questions for Torrey?
No.
No? Okay, moving on. Fire Chief Michael,
I don't have anything.
you don't have anything either, huh? Huh? Anybody got any questions for Mike, the Fire Chief?
No.
Brings us to City Clerk Pam.
Do you guys have any questions regarding my report? If you don't, I don't have anything except the seal bid and under new business.
We got a couple questions. As far as the 10 days are up for the 521 East First Avenue property, is that something you got involved with, Danny, to notify him?
Can't remember. You,
It's the same one that we send out for the property violations that we send out certified.
okay.
It's the same letter that they sent to the
Correct.
city for like, we sent like 30 of them out
Yes.
about 2 months ago or whatever,
Yes,
right?
it's the same letter.
Or is this for the houses that kind of walked around and see what?
Yeah, when we were cleaning on the other
Pictures and
side.
everything.
Yeah.
So is the next step up to the council, or do we go from the city code? I just briefly looked at it.
Well, I mean,
Which is 8-2-2
we can go.
and 2-5.
What I was asking is the overgrown part really needs to be taken care of because we did got complaints about rats and stuff like that. As I told you guys the last meeting that it's, you know, it's gonna cause quite a bit of labor. I just didn't know how much you guys want to spend and getting that done because it's all gonna have to be done by hand and because there's that shed, which that little shed, we're gonna have to go through the whole hearing process and stuff like that. And if they don't respond, then we can take that little shed out. But right now, the only thing that we can do is the weed violation, which we have the right to go in and take care of that violation without having to have the hearing.
Do they own that? Who owns the property next to them that the weeds are about
The
40 inches
Fishers.
tall?
The
Okay.
Fishers,
Well,
So I guess my,
Vance, yeah.
but
That's
it's not
not
their
bad.
property.
Yeah.
No.
the answer's-
I know, I was just curious if
Yeah.
they own both of them or
No.
not.
No.
So what do we,
I mean,
I mean,
if
as
you
far as
guys
the
think
code
that
goes-
we're need to take care of it, let's take it all out, then the guys can go start on it. It might take 2-3 days, you know, it's gonna take a little bit, and that's what obviously, we're not gonna get our money back of what we're putting into. I just wanting to make sure I don't overstep and be like, hey, go take care of that, and then it costs us $2,000.
did he respond?
No.
So based on the outline of that code, I think if they don't respond within 10 days, we can move forward, can't we?
Right, the city.
So
can
this is
correct
where
it.
we're at?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, how does that work? We assess it to their taxes like we would tearing down, but you know, we have a set fee when we go mow somebody's lawn, right? So would this fall under that set fee?
Yes.
So even if we,
Per hour,
oh, it's per hour.
per mower,
Person.
yeah.
Per person.
So, if it's gonna take all 7 guys to do it for 8 hours, you know, that's
Good
gonna
clear.
cost quite a bit.
Is that all we can do is mow, or can we take all those suckers out also?
I mean, as far as it's not
What do you
above
mean?
9 inches
There's a
tall.
bunch of tree suckers just shooting out everywhere,
I see
so
what you're
like
saying.
bamboo, which I don't think you get a mower back there.
No, you can't. I mean, on the other side, we had to have the loader in there and kind of scrape everything down because there was just so much. The other side, they're gonna have to cut it all by hand because, and then use the weed whacker to get the rest. So I just,
7 guys.
Yeah.
There's that, it's $49 on labor. Is it the same labor rate for manual
Yes.
labor as far as a mower rate?
no, it's gonna be the same as the mower rate because it's the same violation. So it's
Okay.
gonna be $250 per hour per mower.
I think we should do it. And us, we're probably gonna eat it, but what else can we do?
Right.
I mean, there's I'm fairly confident there's rats back there.
There's lots of cats around there, so the problem might be changing from rats to cats, but.
And even if there was a fire back there, I don't think the fire department could easily get a hose back through there.
Probably not unless they go into the back of the other properties.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get on that. I just didn't want to overstep my boundary and tell the guys to go do it.
Do we have the manpower and the hours to put to it, mowing, slowing down, and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and the guys are not doing roads, so they're just working on finishing up the water survey for the lead and copper, and they're pretty caught up on dry land. I just talked to Dale today. Yeah, I don't know what the electric departments are doing. Maybe they all can get together one day and just get as much done as you could, and we'll go from there.
Danny, on that code when I was reading it, it said they can request a hearing, or can we request them to be at a hearing?
No, they can request a hearing, and then we'd have to prove that they're in violation of it to take further action. But if they don't request the hearing, then that's when the 10 days kicks in, the city can let go after that.
Would it be prudent on our part to give them a ticket, and then they get a hearing date, and then if they're not answering, we force them to answer?
I don't think there's any need to the way the code's set up.
Okay.
That's why we send it certified, so we've got proof it got there the same way that a ticket would.
Well, I'll make a motion that the city proceeds at 521 East First Street and clear up the property in the backyard.
Second.
Got a motion on the table.
Do we need a motion, or?
I don't know, you're asking for permission.
Well, I was kind of informing you, and
Oh, okay.
the property is in violation, so the motion is not needed. But
That's
I
good,
mean,
let's do
to
it.
be official. I mean, if you feel
I mean,
better, maybe
motion never hurts anything.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll get with the
Mark
guys and do
seconded.
it.
Yeah, I
Sure.
seconded.
Got a motion on the table and a second by Mark Bryant to go ahead with the plan to clean up 521 East First. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Anything else, Dan?
I don't have anything.
Any other questions
What
for
about
Tim?
the other houses on that list and stuff?
Uh,
I need to get with Pam on that.
Okay. Because I sent
then-
everything I have over to Danny.
Yeah.
And
And then get that procedure
Pictures
started.
and stuff on the houses that you had.
on West 6.
No, on the other, there was a packet and you had pictures of
Oh,
different houses.
yes. Oh, okay, the rest of those houses. They have until the end of this month, and then I'll have to go out and check them again. Because I know quite a bit of people have, fixed a lot of stuff up, but I gave pretty much everybody except the Carson Williamson, since he's in houses and won't be back until winter. So I give him until the end of the year, but everybody else have until the end of this month to be in compliant, or else we're gonna proceed on with an actual letter and in the 10 days and then proceed on. Because those letters that they got the first round, it was just kind of like an informant letters. It wasn't sent certified or anything like that. since we were just trying to get everybody to, you know, like fix up their stuff and see how many is left, cause it's gonna be kind of costly to, if we were to proceed on with all of that, you know, just sending out certified alone, there was over 30, so that, I mean, it's like $9 a letter.
That answer your question, sir?
Yeah.
Any other questions for Pam or council? Aaron, you got anything? Todd? No further questions, we'll move on. Danny, do you wanna talk about your deal now, or you wanna do it at?
We can just do it at the end,
The end?
executive session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have anything other than that?
I don't, unless you guys have questions.
Council have anything for Danny? Move to old business, property code violations, 518 West 4th, 101 East 5th, 406 East 1st, 112 South Monroe. Anybody want to discuss any of them?
Where are we at with the Methodist Church as far as getting in there?
Yeah, I need to do that. I'll get that petition drafted, get that filed.
Any other questions or comments about the properties? When do you think you'll have that put together, Dan?
I'll have it filed by the next meeting.
And then what's the course of action from there? It's gotta go through.
Well, get him served with it, he'll have 21 days to answer, and then should just take a short hearing to get in front of a judge and say, here's what our city's code says. Give us access to go get inside there just to do the inspection. But I don't know, it'll be another one where it'll be the first one of those I filed, so we'll see what happens.
Sure.
Any other discussion, council? Moving on, 5th Street Road by White's Food Line. Anything to discuss on that?
Sounds like EBH will be here in a few months.
2024 housing violations. You wanna talk about that, Andy?
We just talked
Just
about
talked
it.
about it, okay. Brings us down to the maintenance contract for Foley. I think that's in your pamphlet, or in your folder?
It was in last week,
Was it?
yeah. You guys don't have to
Could
make
you-
decisions, yeah.
Could you refresh my memory and anybody else's
Is
about that?
a maintenance contract for number 2 and number 5, engine 6, number 2 and number 6 engine. So you have two options, semi-annual or annually, that they would come out, maintenance, do the maintenance on everything, which, with the look of things, I think it would be better to do annual for now, because there's a lot of thing that the electric guy can do, which, you know, I don't see the reason to spend money for semi-annual. And it's like $3,600 for annual contract.
Was it year to year at a time, or do you in
I
it for
think
5 years?
3 years
Three.
is the duration of the contract, and then after that, we'll look it over and renegotiate, I guess. Anything else?
What was the one
They'll
for,
come in and change the oil filters, plug your computer in, diagnose any problems.
Is that for both or each?
I wanna say it was each. I don't have that piece written.
Each?
I think it was. I don't, do you have a contract from last week? I could be wrong.
I thought I read it as for all.
Was it?
I thought it was,
6 months?
yeah, I thought it was
6
like
months, 30 something.
17,000 an engine per year or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's what it was. If they did it semi-annual, it came out to 7,000 or something like that.
I mean, if it can prevent what we're having to spend on the Fairbanks.
That's sort of.
This thing is to make sure we get it right. We'll make the motion. We'll vote on it tonight.
I don't think it's a single president. We'd ever seen that.
Oh, okay.
I expected.
Pam, did you want a vote on that tonight?
You don't have to
Yeah.
if you don't want to. It's probably, I mean, the maintenance probably needs to be pulled on it soon, but it doesn't have to be done right away. No, this is for both. 3-year proposal for the service and inspection of the 2 generators.
For a total of 36?
Yes, 34.
34.
34, is there an exact number?
34, 67, 12.
And what engines were those again?
2 and 6, the Caterpillars.
It's with fully.
Yes.
I'm ready to make a motion. Get it handled tonight if you guys are.
We need a motion on it. for the-
I'd make a motion to go into contract for 3 years with Foley Cat, for maintenance on number 2 and number 6 generator engines in the amount of $34,067.12 a year.
Got a motion on the table, I hear a second.
Second.
Second by Aaron Raines. Any more discussion? With no further discussion, all in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Brings us to new business. Aaron, I'll turn it
You
over
first.
to economic development. I think you put that addition on.
Last made a copy for you. Last week, Brian sent out this letter, and we never discussed it because it wasn't on the agenda for some reason.
Well, it didn't have to be, so if you have any question regarding any material on the packet, you can either reach out, be like, hey, put it on the agenda, or before we moved on to like the executive session, you just like, hey, I have questions about this, oh, hey, let's talk about this.
Okay.
It didn't have to. It's not
Okay.
required.
So, it's very informative. My question is on the lower, the Prairie View housing. The second paragraph, it says Executive Director Ryan Russell has 4 loans approved. So are those sold? I don't understand the paragraph.
That, I don't know, does
They
not
had
have
to get
anything to do
financing.
with us.
For a portion of their project.
Like a contract loan or contractor's loan or?
Yeah, like they just needed capital to do the whole project, you know, we were paying our portion, they got grant money, City of Stafford did their portion, and they needed a bridge.
Okay.
Since we didn't pay all lump sum, I don't know how the rest of them did.
Yeah,
but
I
since,
mean,
you know,
cause
we paid
yeah,
year
our
by
money
year.
is over 6 years, and the same with Stafford, so I think they,
Okay,
I mean, they're
I didn't know if there
grant.
were, what that meant really, so thanks for the clarification on that. But as far as getting it on the agenda, I wouldn't have a problem with knowing what's going on at least once a month, like if he sends a letter like this,
Yeah,
we
so
can discuss it.
I actually informed him that this needs to be submitted before the second meeting, every month before the first meeting of the month, so you guys be in the loop of what's going on. I don't know if if you see the letter, I'll make sure to put it on the agenda, but
Last week we covered a lot of stuff,
sure.
so I just didn't know if we didn't have time for it, and I didn't see it this month either, or this.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that, since nobody said anything, so I figured you guys didn't have any question, you were perfectly, that's why we moved on, so.
I guess maybe I'm wrong. I've always kind of thought the stuff in the packet that's with her clerk report, it would just be, that would be the time you'd have questions.
Oh,
Is
right.
what- is the way
Okay.
I've always took it.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong, but.
Yeah.
that's
I
how
usually just check it off as we go
Sure.
on the list.
Yeah, if you have any
Yeah, that's
question,
fine.
yeah, on the
That's fine.
packet, you just talk about it under me or under new business. Which, I make people submit this kind of report, or my report, it's a little bit more detailed, so we can cut down on the meeting time, but if you guys have questions, don't hesitate to ask, but I just did this just to help with the meeting time.
And then the other, well, I don't have any more questions for that, thanks for helping me out. The other thing is, I think we need to think about a code enforcement officer. And the reason why I say that is just something I read online, and people are openly telling you how many pieces of livestock they have within the city limit. It's clearly, we all know there's only a certain amount of animals you're supposed to have, and I just think it's opening the door. And I think, you know, we need to assign somebody, and that's comes to you if I read the code enforcement code properly. And I think the person that does it needs to get paid for it. I know Pam said she would take it on. I think she needs to get paid for it because it's time, and it may not be time now, but I think if somebody's getting paid for it, then they're gonna be held, we can hold them accountable to doing the job, instead of giving somebody job enlargement with no pay. So I just thought we should start thinking about it now, and maybe appoint somebody, and after we've had time to think about it, maybe or talk about it again next meeting. So, you guys have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't mind the idea of it. I guess the question would be, is there time to add that to somebody's plate? You know, I don't know that anybody's sitting around looking for something to do, but
Some cities have a code enforcer because they don't have a police force too, and so there's a lot that we can do through the police force that other cities that don't have that can't do. The police force can enforce the city code, or at least, you know, some of the sections on that. There are other things that, you know, like Curtis has filled in on some spots, we're appointed for some spots, so there could be room for that as a separate position, but
there'd probably be a conflict of interest to have a police officer be the code enforcement officer though, right? Because
I know we've had situations, I think, where they don't wanna go into a building as a code enforcer and then they've created some kind of illegal search or something.
yeah, I mean, I
Law
think there'd be a
enforcement
conflict of
on
interest
there.
if it was an officer being the code enforcer.
Yeah.
I don't know if we mentioned this before, but maybe call Great Bend or Pratt and see if their guy wants to just do it part-time, because they'd be used to the process.
I mean, I think Stafford have a code enforcer
Do they?
that might, I'll call Jamie, the city admin over there.
Police officer, and it's caused a lot of conflict.
Oh, really? Is it the chief or just a
No,
police
it's the
officer?
manager, it's their canine officer,
Oh,
but I think that, like on the law enforcement side, that ruins a lot of relationships with people, and then when you're dealing with them on a law enforcement level, then sometimes it's really hard to de-escalate somebody because you have more chances of upsetting that person because of code, and there's a lot of code that needs enforced here. So I don't know. Not
would you
against
be, Laura, was
enforcing
that
the
something
code,
you'd
but
be interested
You
in?
need to enforce it all, not just.
I'm just asking.
I'd have to think about it.
Okay, I'm just throwing it out, because the times I've dealt with you, you seem like you have a calm demeanor. And I don't know what your job load is, I don't even know if you have time for it. You're swamped, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, like Danny said, there's a lot that my office can get done, and the guys, you know, they're out around town every day. When they see something that's not right, they let me know, and then we either send out letters and stuff like that. So we do a lot of that here. It's just not as excessive, and it hasn't really been the focus of our attention, you know. I mean, it can be, it's just not gonna be like every week we do this and this and this and this, if you get what I'm saying, because that's a full-time work, you know. Like, we can fill that in here and there. Okay, like every Thursday we do this, and then like we wait until that's done, and then we'll start a round of this, you know. It's
Well-
gonna be a slow process, but it can be done.
Here's another idea for you. I'm just throwing them out. Like, if that's what you want to do and take it on with Laura, then I think you guys should get paid for it. Additional pay. Not what, just because it's additional work. and
Right.
Additional focus.
Right.
So I'm just throwing that out there just to get it out there.
I do like, I do like the idea of getting an enforcer, but I feel like. Officer, sorry. Yes, enforcer, officer, yeah. It might be better to get somebody from out of town to do a part-time, just so there's no bias,
Yeah.
you know? Just so, oh, well, that's family, so you're not gonna go
I
after
can
them,
see that.
Yeah.
you know?
That was suggested a while back in
Right.
previous councils. And the council at the time didn't seem to have an appetite for that. But I think it's a good idea to have somebody from outside who does, like you said, who doesn't have a bias in here. And then plus the fact that they live in town, what's to stop somebody from going over there and saying, why did you do this to me or that? Or they see him out on the street, why are you doing this? Why are you picking on me? Why aren't you picking on this person over here? So,
Yeah,
Okay, well, we can just table it and think about it and bring it up next meeting.
yeah. I can maybe call the other city around us to see if their code enforcer wanting to come down for a day or two for like 4 hours every other
You think
week or.
yeah, whatever you think.
As long as they go out and look for a violation, the rest of the paperwork can be taken care of here,
Mhm.
so,
Do we need a
Might call
motion to
around.
table?
huh, yeah.
We do?
Since it's on the agenda, if you wanna table it to old business.
We'll make a motion to table the code
Second.
enforcement
Got
officer.
a motion on the table
next
and a second
session.
by Aaron Gleason. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. That'll be put under new business.
But it's gonna be under old business,
Old
but we're
business,
down to you.
We got sealed bids awards.
So we got 4 bids. One is for the propane tank. So, you
Are they
guys,
competing bids or are they just one for each?
well, there's one for just the tank and then the rest are for the pool slides. So you guys can look at the propane tank.
Got a lucky winner.
While you guys look at that, as of today, I just checked before the meeting start. The mower is up to $13.50, and the vac truck on Purple Wave are at $425, and they have until the 24th to bid. The bucket truck, I sent everything that they have, and they are working on the title work and stuff. It should be up here pretty soon next week, hopefully. So.
A question, was that truck ever ours? The way the title is? I was trying to figure that out.
It is really a mess.
Oh, okay.
Where do we buy it from or what year do we even know? It's old enough that.
Yeah,
Ozy-
it's old
Ozy-
enough that the American State Bank was called something.
So we owned it, the title's in our
Yes.
name, there's just a lien on it.
Yeah, the
So
lien
So they
wasn't
just have to
clear.
release the lien, and And
Well,
the
it
title
sounded
will be
like the
mailed to
back of
us.
it had
Yeah.
some writing that needed to be cleared up.
Right,
So
the
that-
writing, they didn't fill it out correctly when it
Oh,
transferred
so
from
it's
owner
old
to
enough
owner.
that it's not lien,
Yeah.
it's the physical.
Yes.
Okay.
So so that is what's holding it up, and we actually, me and Laura went through every other titles that we have, making sure that that's don't happen again. So far, that's the only one that we found, so hopefully,
Okay, does these bids need to be announced?
yes. The winners just need to be announced.
winner.
Yeah. So,
And then, do we need a motion or
We
just?
need-
yes, we need a motion
Okay.
to approve the sale of each of these items.
Okay. I make a motion that we sell a propane tank to Josh Truitt for $75.
Got a motion on the table, here's a
Second.
second, and a second by Aaron Range. Any more discussion, all in favor? All opposed, passes 5-0.
Make a motion that we sell the pool slide, for $600 to Lisa Cornwell.
Second?
Got a motion on the table and a second, any more discussion, all in favor? All opposed, passes 5-0. And the last one being,
That's,
I guess that's all.
yep, that's all.
So, what do we wanna do with the rest of the stuff that we didn't get bids on?
Toss it, strip out metals and maybe sell the metals and then toss the rest. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, we got the seal bids took care of. The last, new business is Fairbank engine repair quote. Curtis, you wanna talk a little bit about that to the council?
Yeah. You guys, should have some paperwork in front of you, but last time we went to start that, intercooler was leaking into the, intake, manifold. We went to start it, the blower sucked it in from the intake manifold into the number 12 cylinder, and hydrolocked it, causing damage to the number 12 piston, inner liner, bearing. Where that leak was at, you didn't see it, it wasn't leaking into oil or anything like that. Chris Fairby's guys come down, took it apart, looked at it. Took a bunch of stuff back with him. This is the bid that he came up with. It'll come with a 1,000-hour warranty. As I know, last time Chris called me, it was Friday he called, and he thinks the crankshaft's still good on it. So we might not cover crankshaft assembly.
So you use the word bid. Is this a bid or is this an estimate?
This is what's gonna cost her per bill.
Plus it could go higher depending
That's the total contract, the top deal on the very back, I don't know if you guys got that one. But right now, that's how it stands. They thought they had some intercoolers up there in their shop, so we wouldn't really have to wait on too many parts. Unfortunately, they're getting sent to Australia for a little bit to finish the job, so that puts us a little farther behind.
Curtis, is this total contract got the cost in case the crankshaft has to be done?
That's right here.
Or is the 47 an additional?
In addition.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
Clarify the
216.
council.
563.
It's kind
On
of,
the high.
this is excluding any taxes and so on, but it doesn't really say that it's going to.
We will, since it's the electric department and we make revenue off of that, so.
Do you
I
know what
would-
that tax rate would be, or can we just say plus tax?
Looks like it'll be, I mean,
I don't know how exact.
I
it
would
be.
do up to $250,000 and
tax will be
it will be
Two-
hefty,
Up to
$2
50.
grand.
yeah,
Tax will be
at
$2 grand.
least,
Okay.
so. And who knows if when they start tearing into it, if what else they're gonna find in there. just so we don't have to bring it back to the table.
Sounds like we've worked with FMI before.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good
That's-
relationship with them.
That's the company that put in that Fairbank.
Fairbank, or not Fairbank, that number 6 cat.
The cat, yeah,
Mm.
sorry. I keep calling it Fairbank.
And they've done a lot of work on Fairbanks, I guess, in the past.
Yeah. Now you mentioned in your report that there's like 900 and some thousand, and that's in the electrical department for operating and maintenance costs, or?
No, that's the surplus that we pretty much saved for something like this, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be
That's
number-
that's a lot of money, but I can't see how you can't
Fix it.
continue it.
Yeah.
Guess it's a lesson on if there's water going somewhere, but it's still working, maybe figure out where the water's going.
We installed some stuff now. If it leaks again in that area, it'll show up, it'll drip out, so we'll know it.
Yeah,
You fix one problem, but
yeah.
he says those motors are good, pretty good for about 40,000 hours, barring any mechanical failure. And he said once they get done, it'll be like a brand new one. So cost per, capacity, you're better off fixing it.
When was the last time we had to do anything major down there on this engine, do you know?
I don't know. I wanna say, well, I know the blowers were rebuilt in the early 90s. I
I don't
think
remember the whole time I was here that we did anything
Yeah,
to
I
it.
thought it had been a long time since we've ever had to do that.
Yeah, I'd make a motion that, we get the Fairbanks engine repaired, in the amount of up to $250,000 to include the contracted work here plus tax and any other things they find digging into it.
Not to exceed 250, right?
Yeah, not to, up to,
Okay.
not to exceed 250.
I'll second it.
Got a motion on the table and a second. Any more discussion on repairing the motor? If not, all in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.
Do we need to make a motion to put that under old business until we're done with it? or-
Sure, yeah.
I'd make a motion to move the Fairbank engine, to old business.
Second.
Got a motion on the table and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Curtis, if you get into it, and you find something, you might bring it to council, so we can't keep them informed. So that is, we are spending a lot of money there.
When do they plan on starting on this?
They said they can have it done by maybe end of November for, 1st of December.
Okay.
They've got the crank out of it, is
Yeah,
that
they took
correct?
the crank back to Nebraska.
It's-
They stripped
they
it down,
took it
they're ready
back.
to, when they get a chance, they're gonna clean the crank up and everything, and it had some journals and stuff that needed work, and they'll bring everything back and pretty much just assemble it. They got everything with them right now.
Yeah, did you guys see that picture of that journal?
Yeah.
There's one that's got a pretty good gouge in it right there.
They said it's had wear and tear over the years. It was probably a matter of time before had to do some maintenance on it.
Okay, any more questions for Curtis and council? And we'll move to executive session.
Make a motion that we go into a 5-minute attorney-client privilege executive session, to return at 7:50.
Second.
Got a motion on the table to go to executive session. Coming back in at 7:50. All in favor? All opposed? Call regular council meeting back to order. Kyle?
I'd make a motion to go into executive session, to discuss non-elected personnel with council, mayor, attorney, clerk, and chief of police.
Second.
Got a motion on the table, executive session by Kyle, second by Aaron, all in favor?
801.
801.
Back in at 8:01.
Go ahead.
Call regular council meeting back to order. Motion.
I'll make a motion that we go back into executive session for 10 more minutes to discuss non-elected personnel, to include everyone that was in the last one, going to 8:11.
Second.
Got a motion on the table and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. We're in executive session. Call regular council meeting back in order.
I make a motion we go back to executive session, non-elected personnel for 5 minutes, to come back
16.
8:16.
Call council
Second.
meeting. We got a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Going to executive session. Call regular council meeting back to order.
Will you guys need me for anything else the rest of the night?
No, thanks.
Can I get 3 more
Yeah.
minutes? I
Five.
need 5 more minutes.
Yeah, I think we need 5 more minutes.
Just us. Oh, okay.
I'd make a motion to go into executive session to discuss non-elected personnel to include council, mayor, attorney, and clerk. To
Second.
return at 8:23.
Got a motion on the table and a second by Kyle. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? We'll come back out at 8:23. That's gonna put us at 8:30. Call regular council meeting back to order. Out of the executive session.
Make a motion that we go back to executive session for 5 more minutes with everyone at the table, mayor, clerk, council, and attorney, to return at, I can't do math, 30?
Yeah, no, 28.
8:28.
Second.
Got a motion on the table and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.
I'd make a motion to go back into executive session to discuss non-elected personnel to include council, attorney, clerk, and mayor to return at 8:40.
Got a motion on the table here, second.
Okay, are you home?
Second.
Second.
Got a second
Can you
by
come to the council
Kyle,
meeting?
Kyle and Aaron both. All in favor? Opposed?
Okay.
Make a motion that we go to executive session to discuss non-elected personnel to include council, mayor, clerk, attorney, and Patrick Piper to return at 8:55.
Motion on the table
Second.
and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Going into executive. Call regular council meeting back in order. Any more discussion?
I don't have anything.
Kyle? Sarah?
Nope.
Mark? Nope. Then I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn regular council meeting, September 17th, 2024.
Got a motion on the table to adjourn?
Second.
Here, second?
I was waiting for the comment.
Motion on the table, do I hear a second?
Yeah, second.
Second by Aaron Raines.
Yeah.
All in favor? All opposed? Council meeting's over.